Welcome. Thank you for attending the soft opening of the Robinson Graham Performing Arts Center. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the Antero Performance Hall. I am Clarksburg's Mayor, Kathy Goings, and this is our City Manager, Martin Howe. This is truly a historic day for the City of Clarksburg, Harrison County, and North Central West Virginia, and we are so pleased and honored that you chose to spend your evening with us tonight. I would like to acknowledge a few of the council members that are with us this evening. We have Vice Mayor Jim Malfajo, Councilman Gary Bowden, Councilman Frank Ferrari, Councilman Marshall Goff, and Councilman Chad Sidney. I would also like to acknowledge a few of the members of a previous council that were highly supportive of the Robinson Graham Performing Arts Center, and that would be Sam Zeke Lopez, Margaret Bailey, and Bob Kaplan. There are many, many others that have been supportive of this project, and tonight I would like for our city manager to do a little historic overview and be able to recognize the various entities, consultants, contractors, capital campaign team members, and the contributors, which all work together under his leadership to bring this project to fruition. So now I'd like to turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Martin Howe.
Thank you, Mayor Goins. What a pleasure it is to speak today from the Thrasher stage. This truly is a historical day in North Central West Virginia. I've had the honor to lead a team of many talented individuals, a little bit over 100 individuals involved in this project, of consultants and people who helped bring it to fruition. They could see the vision and carry out the passion and execute a tremendous project. We could never, ever express our appreciation enough to whom all has been involved in the entire project. I'd like to provide a timeline highlight of the project, as well as recognize these individuals and consultants, at which time we can take several photographs here on Thrasher stage. So when we get to that section, we'll make sure that we bring you up and have a memorable photo. City Council had the vision and the strength and the will to move forward with this project in spring of 2013 with the acquisition of the property by authorizing the city administration to negotiate the purchase of this spectacular piece of property. The city officially acquired the property in March of 2014. The city also acquired the building adjacent to the Robinson Graham Performing Arts Center in March of 2016 from the Mazza family. In an additional building abutting the theater to the rear on 6th Street in Hughes, we also purchased from VNS Enterprise. I would be remiss if I failed to mention our city attorney, Greg Morgan, who provided legal counsel and guidance throughout the acquisition phases until his passing in January of 2017. The city retained WYK architects, James Swire and Stephen Kelly, in June of 2014 to perform an assessment, which ultimately led to the final design to be bid for construction. There were many community groups invited to meet here in this exact same area at the beginning. We all figured, let's get the most bang for the buck and get all the community members in here who have a possible use to this great venue. We always ask them, what would you like to see incorporated into this venue? What are your needs and what are your wants? If we can fit those into the project, we will attempt to do so. In November of 2014, the city held a public meeting with the USDA to provide an overview of the project and the various potential funding sources. There were several funding sources for the project to be utilized, which included interim financing, which ended up being bond anticipation notes, tax credits in the form of new market tax credits, as well as historical tax credits, both state and federal credits. and then also as well as private funding through support of a capital campaign. Throughout 2015, we had formed a relationship with Wishneff and Associates, Adam Markwood, and several community development entities. These entities did include Wishneff and Associates from Roanoke, Virginia, KHEC, which is Community Affordable Housing Equity from Raleigh, North Carolina, and Brian Oxford and his team is here as well today. PIFS, which is People's Incorporated Financial Services from Abingdon, Virginia, and Brian Phipps and his team as well. And then U.S. Bank, one of the largest banks in the country, Jennifer Westerbeck from Pittsburgh made multiple trips down here to meet the administration and our team to help put the financing together for the credits. Ultimately, U.S. Bank stepped in and purchased 100% of the federal, state, and historical credits as well as the new markets. These partners worked hard with hand in hand over 2 years with the city's team as well as with MVB Bank, Herman DeProspero, USDA, and our bond counsel Tom Amon from Steptoe and Johnson. In April of 2016, the Clarksburg City Council implemented the sales and use tax through the West Virginia Home Rule Program to partially finance this project. In April of 2016, City Council approved the creation of the Clarksburg Development Authority, which would act as the conduit for the new market and historical tax credits. And then they would also be ultimately a partner in this project. Kim Karakosis, Finance Director, came on our team in April of 2016 and quickly became acclimated with the financing model after following in the footsteps of longtime Finance Director and now Council Member Frank Ferrari. To this date, Kim has been very, very valuable as a member of our team with the tax credits. And we cannot express our thanks enough for Kim Karakosis and everything she's done with the credits. In November of 2017, the closing on the tax credits took place that equated to a net benefit of this project of $6.5 million in equity towards the project. We have to recognize Senator Capito and Congressman McKinley, as they have been very supportive of the overall project, made several visits to this venue while the construction was taking place. They were both very supportive of the tax credit programs and the support of Washington, D.C. to keep the program alive, as well as keeping us apprised of the future of the program as we move forward. These types of development tools are very crucial projects just like this one. So these would not be able to be done throughout the United States of any sort for economic development without these projects. At this time, I would like to have the following come forward. You can come up over here on the side to the left so we can recognize you here on the Thrasher stage. The Clarksburg Development Authority members are Pat Schaefer, which is the president, Sam Gallo is the vice president, Anthony Secret is the treasurer, Nancy Steiner is the secretary, Tony Blidgett, George Gibb Brown, Robin D'Annunzio, Catherine Goins, Stephen McCoy, Trey Randolph, Steve Turner, Ken Karakosis, Anthony Bellotti, and also Annette Wright, recording secretary. So if everybody would like, if those individuals come forward, we'd like to recognize you here on stage and take a picture up here in the front. While they're coming up, I'd like to recognize and also have come forward to join in the picture the other contributors and partners to the tax credit team, which were Larry Mazza and Herman DeProspero from MVB Bank, and any other representatives from MVB Bank that may be present. Tom Amon from Steptoe and Johnson, and from KHEC, Brian Oxford and Nancy Pierce that both made the trip into Clarksburg today. They would like to come up as well. And then everybody else involved in this project, we want to give recognition to them. Most of these entities are out of state, but U.S. Bank, Wishneff and Associates, Piper Jaffray from Charleston, the USDA, Nova Granick and Company from Ohio, Summit Studios, West Banco, Spencer Fame, Twain Investment Fund, First American Title Insurance Company, Spillman Thomas and Battle, Hush Blackwell, Klein Hornick LLP, Andrew Foster Law, Traxler and Tom, Historic Equity, and Womble, Carlisle, Sandberg, and Rice. So as you can see, there's many names, many companies involved, and this would explain probably why we received in excess of over 3,000 emails to put this financing package together just for this project. So if you divide that out with $6.5 million, that comes to about $2,100 per email. So I think it was a very beneficial email. And Pat, would you like to come over and say a few words?
Thank you, Mark. It's been a great pleasure to be the president of the CDA for the past 2 years. It was represented by these great community members. The Clarksburg Development Authority members took on this project in June of 2016. At that time, we held our inaugural meeting, election of the officers, and adopted bylaws. The CDA received an overview of the new market tax credits and historical tax credit programs. The authority approved a resolution with full support to authorize the president to execute the necessary documents. In February of 2017, we met again to approve grant agreements between the city and the CDA for the Robinson Grant Performing Arts Center. We also approved the lease agreement between these two entities for this great building. On behalf of the members of the CDA, we've greatly enjoyed being a part of this project, and we look forward to its success. Thank you.
Again, thank you to the CDA and everyone involved with the tax credits. As another funding mechanism in community outreach, we want to have a component to include the private sector and the general public to support this outstanding project. We had an opportunity to bring onto our team Progressity Incorporated, Kathleen Dubois, to assist. Kathleen was instrumental in conducting interviews with leaders throughout this great community. Ultimately, we utilized this information to assist with forming the Capital Campaign Steering Committee. Kathleen was instrumental in developing and training our steering committee. Dr. Judy Wellington, former director of the Clay Center in Charleston, was contracted in early 2016 to draft an operating pro forma, a recommendation of best practices of operations and staffing for the Robinson Grant. This information was utilized to put together a case statement as we move forward. Michael and Dina D'Annunzio and Woody Thrasher were co-chairs of this phenomenal group. Each member brought to the table different perspectives as well as many questions and ideas. This capital campaign received commitments of approximately $2.1 million and will be working towards launching the public phase. At this time, I would like to have the following capital campaign members and contributors come forward to be recognized, as well as to take a picture again on Thrasher stage. Antero Resources. To date, Antero is the biggest capital campaign financial supporter, and we cannot thank Al Schultz and Antero Resources enough for their commitment to this project. Dominion Energy. Again, another large corporation that has stepped up, and Bob Wardworth's here today as well. Their commitment has been unbelievable. Andy and Lisa Lang, the Benham Airport Authority, the Thrasher Group, Al and Joanne Shope, Michael and Dina D'Annunzio, Yingling, MVP Bank, Steptoe and Johnson, Rick and Kathy Goins, WYK Associates, Lisa and John Holterman, Robert and Elizabeth Colley, Dr. Stephen and Marcia Broughton, First Energy Foundation, the Cultural Foundation of Harrison County, Ben and Jeannie Hardesty, Pat and Allison Dean, Donna and Steve Maxwell, the Quality Machine Company, Inc., PDC Energy, Brick Street Foundation, Ralph and Barbara Bean, and Veronica Tonkin and family. Dr. Jennifer and Dr. Mo Moman, State Electric Company, Samuel Medea, Denny and Alice PLLC, Phil and Renee Wyatt, Annabelle and Joe Timms, and First United Methodist Church. So if you can please come forward, we would love to have a picture taken on the stage as well. I'd also like to, as everybody's coming forward, please continue so, but I'll then have Michael D'Annunzio, who is the co-chair of the Capital Campaign Steering Committee, be able to say several words.
Start with thank you to Martin. Appreciate all the support, and we gather here this evening. You can see it took collective effort. There wasn't any one person throughout the process, but we made good friends. We built relationships as a group, and about 2 years ago, we gathered on this very stage in what appeared to be a room full of rubble. Through sight and sound techniques, balloons and popcorn, we were able to create some sort of ambiance to gather as a group. And in those discussions and gatherings, I think it was a group effort to say, whatever we can do, whatever it takes. And I think that is what truly got Dina and I both excited about being a part of this project, because it's a positive thing that connects to our community. And anytime you have those things, they create an impact, short and long term. So in that meeting, standing on stage 2 years ago, we all reminisced about the past. And the past, it colors these halls, it colors this room, and it breathed life into the project. But what it ultimately did was help pave the way for a future. And tonight is truly a culmination of all that hard work and effort. And it's a thrill to be involved with this. It's a thrill to share this stage with my wife. And as a member of this community for all my life and the foreseeable future with family and friends and building on this opportunity, I couldn't be more proud of everyone's effort, commitment, and time. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Martin. Thank you.
Again, this was an exceptional amount of people to work with. They were very proactive, very in tune to what was going on. It was a pleasure to meet with them on a weekly, at the first, the steering committee, on an ongoing weekly basis. So we really enjoyed these relationships we've built with everybody. So we greatly appreciate the time that they put forth on that capital campaign. The design and construction phase. The project was designed by WYK Associates, James Swigert and Stephen Kelly, and their team of specialized consultants. We were very fortunate to have a group located here in Clarksburg, which was able to take on the design, bidding, and management of the project. The project took several twists and turns as the historical credits were being assessed, and Steve and James, you both were very accommodating and willing to change directions as necessary as we progress forward. A sincere thank you from myself and from the city for everything you both did throughout that process. There are many times that you were required to go above and beyond your call of duty. The Clarksburg Sanitary Board and the Clarksburg Water Board also assisted with upgrading and relocating its utilities prior to and during the construction phases, and it was greatly appreciated that these two utilities assisted as well. The construction was bid in late 2016, and the bid was awarded to March Weston in February of 2017, at which time a contract signing took place at City Hall. Construction immediately began in late February of 2017. Phil Weezer, owner of March Weston, should be proud of the leadership provided by Hannah Payne, project manager, and Kevin Pfeiffer, project superintendent. Their passion was exemplified throughout the entire project. The overall working relationship between March Weston, as well as Hannah and Kevin and their office staff, are to be commended for their professionalism and willingness to provide additional, specific, detailed information pertaining to the renovation and restoration of the project at last-minute calls and notices for the historical credits throughout the entire project. Again, this was something abnormal to what they were used to be doing, and we greatly appreciate all the cooperation they gave back to the city and to all of the providers with our credits. The city's project manager, Assistant City Manager Anthony Bellotti, was a true asset through all the phases as he stayed focused and committed to all the components of the project. If there was anything to update that I needed, I would have the pertinent information to me or any other staff member instantly through Mr. Bellotti. Again, I thank Boo for his dedication. Our executive director, Ryan Tolley, assisted with the operational components of the theater once coming on board this past July of 2017. Ryan was tasked with the opening and scheduling of the future events and preparing all the staffing needs. At this time, I would like to have the following come forward to be recognized, as well as take a picture here on Thrasher Stage. WYK Associates and the team, March Weston and any subcontractors that may be here as well, Anthony Bellotti, Assistant City Manager, Ryan Colley, Executive Director, members of the Clarksburg Sanitary Board and Clarksburg Water Board. So they can come forward. We're happy to show you our gratitude and get a picture. All right, this time we'll begin to get on with the actual ribbon cutting itself so we can begin really to enjoy the entertainment that we have scheduled tonight. And then if you have time, maybe go back to the Al Jones Show ballroom as well and enjoy yourselves, or visit the MVB concessions. So at this time, I'd like to call upon our present council members, Mayor Goins, Vice Mayor Malfredjo, Councilman Bowden, Councilman Ferrari, Councilman Goff, Councilman Kennedy, Councilman Sigmund, as well as the past council members that were also voted to purchase the property when they were in office, which were former Councilmember Bailey, Robert Kaplan, Sam Zeke Lopez, and Patsy Treecost. And then also would like to have Assistant City Manager Anthony Bellotti, Ken Karakostas, Finance Director, and Executive Director Ryan Tolley as well come forward to assist in the ribbon cutting.
Again, we want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I mean, this is just awesome. City manager, finance director, I mean, there's too many people to mention, but it could not have been possible without teamwork. So thank you to my team.
Thank you for coming this evening. This concludes our ceremony. We want to encourage you to enjoy yourselves this evening. Make your way up to the Shope Family Ballroom and the MVB concession stand. Entertainment will be starting soon here in the Antero Performance Hall and on the Thrasher stage. So again, thank you all for